All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for this first little bit before we were waiting for Katie. But I am so freaking pumped up to have Katie on and just for you guys to hear her story. She is an absolute powerhouse. You're going to feel so energetic and so ready to go after you hear from her. So, Katie, if you want to go ahead, I'll unmute you. If you want to share a little bit about your story, and then we'll get right into questions. Let me find you quick. Where are you? Oh, I see you now. You're on my second page. I don't know what happened. All right, you should be unmuted. You're good.
Okay, hey you guys, my name is Katie Bevington. I am so excited to be here tonight. I'm Ambassador Diamond, and I've been in the company for about 5.5 years. I got started because I was a struggling teen mom. I had my daughter at 18. Me and her dad, my husband now, we moved out and thought that his job was just going to be good to go, was going to take care of us while I went to school. And then I was like, oh, I can pick up some, PRN shifts as a CNA and like we would be able to pay the bills. And it turned out that wasn't working and we were drowning and all of the money that we had saved up to move out was just depleting so quickly. And I just figured, I'm like, I don't know how much more of this I could take. I was so stressed out. I was shy. I had no friends, no following. I barely was on social media. And I was totally over it. And the funny thing about this is I was so against network marketing because I had tried something else before and it was the worst experience of my entire life. I did not like it. And so when this presented itself to me, I was interested in the product first, but obviously couldn't afford that. So I saw it at a gym the first time I entered to win a free wrap. I did not win, but she texted me one time and was like, do you want to host a party? And I was like, nah, I don't really have any friends. So like, how can I do that? And so I just told her, I was like, I'll see what I could do. She never followed up with me ever. And so I saw it again on Facebook like 3 days later. I entered to win another free wrap. Yes, I was that annoying person. I won the free wrap that time though. I tried it. It worked. I was excited. The girl asked me to be a customer. I was like, no, girl, don't have money. And then pretty much after that, she just kept following up with me and she said, why don't you do the business with me? And I was like, no, girl, I can't do that. I don't have friends. I don't have a following. I did something similar. It's just not for me. I'm not a salesperson. And she followed up with me every single day for like a week and I started. And so pretty much, I think the funniest thing about this is that the first girl, I always wonder like who she was because I'm like, if you would have known like what would have happened if you would have followed up, it's just insane to me. But also knowing that the second girl was so persistent in her follow-up, I think sometimes we get afraid to follow up that much because we don't want to be annoying, but she followed up with me every day, but she was honestly a friend. And that was something that I needed in that time of my life. I really needed somebody to just what cared about me, wanted to talk to me. She made me believe in myself and made me believe that I could do this and I could be successful. And so I got started and I was a little slow turtle in the beginning. I did not take off like a race car. I was so slow. I was afraid. And it took me my full 30 days to get my customers for my shopping spree. And then it took me 3 full months to go Ruby and then 5 months to go Emerald. And then shortly after that, Emerald, I actually went Emerald in November. And then I promoted to Diamond the next February and Double Diamond in March. And so it was crazy because my paycheck was just a little, insert IDS, a few hundred here. And then it went huge, exploded to thousands and thousands. I tripled my husband's full-time income within just those few months. And that allowed us to do so many things. We were finally able to get a little bit bigger of a house. We lived in a very small 900 square foot townhome and we moved out, we bought a bigger home and it allowed us to start living. I thought I was living the dream. I went triple diamond. We were making great money. And that was more than I'd ever made. And it was like, it was balling money for me at that time. And then at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm comfortable. I got stuck at triple for 1.5 years. It was the longest I've ever sat at a rank. And I was like, this is enough. I made the decision to finally just get over myself and stop being a brat. And then I promoted to presidential 2 months after that. And then ambassador just a few months after that. And it was absolutely insane. But the biggest thing you guys to remember or to know about my story is that this business completely transformed my life. I was a teen mom who everybody talked bad about. Everybody had something to say. I had statistics put on me. I had people telling me I would never get anywhere, that my baby was a mistake, that my baby ruined my life, and all of these nasty things. And I decided to rise up and go after my dreams because I was trusting that God had a plan for me no matter what that was, because I didn't even want kids. I wanted to be a doctor. And so when I got pregnant, I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I could not even believe that happened to me because that's like one of those things where you're just like, I'm taking the precaution, like what the heck? And then I ended up pregnant. So anyways, all that to say, this allows me, my husband doesn't work. He hasn't worked for 3.5 years. We do this together. He helps me. Well, I say we do it together. He mostly helps me with the kids. And we've been able to travel. We have our dream home now. We just installed our dream backyard. We did a whole backyard renovation, our dream pool, a fire pit. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's the best thing ever. And we moved into a completely different state right before I went ambassador. I'm ambassador in this house. So right before I went ambassador, and it was just, it was the most chaotic thing ever, but it was so cool to be able to just go visit different cities and pick where I wanted to live and find a house and just go there and not have to worry about anything else but where I wanted to live. And we currently live in Savannah, Georgia, and it is literally the dream.
Oh my gosh. So good. So good. There's so many things that I can relate to with your story. My husband and I also picked up from Wisconsin and we just moved to North Carolina. Nobody had jobs. We didn't have to worry about anything because we could just go. And that freedom is something that is, you can't even explain it until you're living that financial freedom where not every single thought is stressing about money. So we're going to hop right into questions. The first thing that somebody said is, how are you training your newbies to get them understanding the vision and running right away?
So I always like to, first thing, when I start my newbies, I do not waste any time. Like you immediately get in on the training because I don't want them to ever feel like it's going slow. You need to be going fast because success loves speed, right? And so I immediately get them started on our training. We have a units in our team page, and basically unit 1 is you're going to post the host to post. So if you've never host to posted before, even if you have, I don't care. You're going to put testers needed on your page, the Thermofite X host to post, they're going to post that. And then they're going to learn about like the business. So you need to learn like, what is a loyal customer? What's a retail customer? Like BV, all those things. So they learn those things. And then pretty much I help them walk them through everybody who comments on their host to post and asking their family and friends to put up the testers needed for them. This is getting them their customers faster. Why is this important? Because success loves speed and they need a win to stay excited. And so I immediately get them started on that. And then the day 2, they do a little bit more of host to posting, asking their family and friends that, close friends, like, do you like, if they like coffee, ask them if they'd be a tester for you. But I also really, on day 2, we get into a one-on-one call, and that's really important because I want my people to know me, like hear my voice, talk to me one-on-one, have a conversation, but I also want to know them. Who are you? What is your goal? What are you going for? How much money do you want to make in the next 60 days? And how much, if you could make an infinite amount, what would be your goal? Like with this company, how big do you want to grow? And then I get to talk to them about their goals, what their job is, where do they live? And then we kind of spark that relationship and that's like blossoming a new friendship. And I think this is something that so many people miss out on because it seems like, well, I don't want to be too overbearing, and you need to make friends with your team if you're going to grow a strong team. I actually had another leader ask me, how is my team so tight knit? And it's because I want to know every single thing about you. I want to be able to remember your kids' names. I want to be able to be friends and be there as a friend and also a leader. So it's really important to make that connection. And then after that, I keep checking in. We have more, basically day 3 on, you're learning how to do our KPI list. You're learning how to, be consistent and really do this, like do the work every single day. You're integrating that while learning one more thing in addition to master the task. Like, for example, how do you grow your following? That's a video. How to stay organized. You watch that on one of the days. How do you do attraction marketing? How do you take photos? How do you journal your mindset, taking care of that, keeping that positive? And so every single day for their first 10 days, they're mastering the most important skills in our business. And so at the end of their 10 days, they should already have their 6 loyal customers if they're following the KPI exactly like we had put it out there to do, because they're doing so many host posts, they're talking to so many people. And so they're excited because they're winning. So you want to keep your newbies winning, excited. And if they don't message you, it is your job to send them a message. Hey, are you ready for the next step? Do not say, how are you doing? Because if they didn't do anything, they're not interested in talking to you. So how are you doing? And then, don't say how you're doing. Say, are you ready for the next step? That's going to get them ready to go and say, yes, I want to go to the next step. And if they had a bad day, maybe if they had a lot of no's, you can help switch that around because you're asking, are you ready for the next step? And they trust you that you actually care about them. So anyways, that's what I do.
I love it. I love that. My team just implemented a very similar thing, and it's working super, super well because people are getting hyped right away because they're like, oh my gosh, like this person commented on my post. And you guys, the biggest thing with a new distributor is make sure they know those little wins are important, make sure they know they're doing the right things. When someone comments on their post, don't just be like, okay, cool, here's what to say. Be like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you. Like, that's amazing. This is exactly what we do. And that's going to get them excited and feeling like they can actually do this. So, speaking of it a little bit, how are you working with your team to teach self-development specifically to the newbies, but just to everyone in your team, because it's so important and it's something so foreign when you join the company?
So self-development, we actually have, I don't host these every morning, but one of my leaders hosts a journaling Zoom every single morning. And there's also one by Cheyenne Knox every single, like her team like has it divided into her leaders as well. Hers is at 10 a.m. I have one at 8:30 a.m. with one of my leaders. And so I have that every single morning, and it's a safe space. And I encourage people to get on that because that teaches you how to journal, because I didn't know how to journal when I first heard of it. It feels so weird to do that. Like I didn't want to have like a little diary and like write all my feelings or whatever. So I was like, what is this journaling thing in the beginning? I get them on a Zoom to learn about it. Then secondly, I am always pouring into my team about self-development. I'm excited. I'm hyped. I have a lot of energy. And so I do live videos on my team page. I do every single day, I do a shout out post, and I incorporate something positive and encouraging on that shout out post. It may be just like a quote. I mean, talking about going after and killing your goals. It might be a common fear that people have that are holding them back. But I'm always constantly in my page, in my chats, sharing something inspirational, lifting people up, and sharing why it's important. If I have a devotional that I feel like speaks loud, I go ahead and share it in the chats, and I let them know, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm leading by example and not just saying, go watch a video on YouTube, because go watch a video on YouTube is not clear. And it does, like, a newbie can just search motivation, but they're going to get so much. And it's like, okay, that's like motivating, but it's not really goal oriented. And I want them to get intimate in their self-development. I want them to get intimate in praying about their business and letting, asking for the things that we want in our journaling, in our prayers, in our daily just tasks, affirmations. So really, I guess to sum that up, lead by example. What are you reading? What are you doing? Telling my team, hey, you need to get this book. Let's read it together. The Dream Giver is an amazing book. I think everybody and their mom should read that book. But I also will encourage them, if I have a good video, if I've got a good devotional, I always share it. And I'm always present, encouraging and lifting up my people personally as well.
Yeah, that's so important to show your team what you're doing instead of just telling them what to do, because they want to know that you're doing it too. And they're going to feel a lot better about doing it. They're like, oh, she's actually doing it. Like, hey, she shared this devotional. Okay, that's what's working. Because your team looks up to you. They look at you as someone who's successful. So show them what a successful person does. So, okay. Somebody said, what is one thing that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started?
Something I know now, okay, this is going to be a mind blower. If you're not enrolling, it's because you're not doing the right things, or the enough of the things. Because when I first started, I was wondering, okay, well, I'm not enrolling. Why is she enrolling 20 distributors a month? How did she enroll? She's a unicorn, right? Everybody thinks that mass enrollers have like some sauce. It's not the sauce that they have. It's just the work ethic that they have and the mindset that they have. And it's kind of cool now, because being able to be around the top leaders that I looked up to at one time when I was new, and talking to Jade, I was talking to Jade, she was my biggest inspiration when I first started this business, and listening to her talk. And it's just like, dude, you just do more, like, you talk to more people. I don't understand. Like, how can anybody slack? It's just, you talk to more people. It's not you, it's not them. It's, you need to talk to more people to enroll more people. And so I wish I would have understood that really it's not spending 700 hours on training. It's not waiting for somebody to say some magical thing. It's, hey, you have to ask more people. And that for you, it might be messaging. It might be host posts for distributors. It might be attraction marketing, it might be Reels or TikTok. And honestly, if I was starting today, I would be doing all of the things, because we didn't have all this magical, cool stuff that you guys have now. Like, we had posting and messaging. And that was the only way that we could get people to be distributors in the beginning. And so I wish I would have just known, like, dude, if you work harder, you sign more people, you move faster, get out of your own way. If you're being self-conscious and you're like, well, I'll do everything on the list, but message, then you're saying, I'll do everything on the list, but grow my business. I'll do everything on my list, but rank up. I'll do everything on my list, but grow my paycheck, because that's one of the most essential things to growing your business.
Yeah, I feel like so many times people are waiting for like this magic thing that they're like, oh, okay, I can do this, and I can skip over the stuff I don't want to do. In the devotional I was reading the other day, it said most people want the finish line without the race. You want the big goal, you want the big promotion, but you don't want to do the work that it takes to get there, or you don't want to do enough of that work. So What are your best tips for people that are trying to accomplish huge goals in this time, even though people are telling them it's a slow season?
Slow season only exists if you believe slow season exists, because you guys, I've had people who tell me, oh, it's Christmas, people aren't spending money, oh, people don't have the money to start the business right now. And that's just not true, because if I'm enrolling I'm going to enroll 50 distributors this month, and I've already enrolled 6. And so I'm telling you right now, if you don't enroll people, it's because you're limiting yourself and telling yourself the lie that you're not going to enroll people because people don't have the money. People have the money. They're spending it every single day. I heard this quote one time, and it will stick with me forever. When I was sitting in a hairstylist chair, I was getting my hair done. And the lady said, I've got people that come in here and tell me they can't afford their kids' Christmas gifts, and they're getting their hair professionally colored. So you can't tell me people won't prioritize what they want to prioritize. They will go get their nails done. They're getting Starbucks. They're going into hella debt to do fun things. And so if you think they're not going to spend their money on this stuff that's going to make them feel good, or if it's going to make them more money, they will. And it's all up to you. Some people are going to tell you they don't have the money, but then you're not speaking to them right now. You're speaking to the person who is ready to make money and lock arms with you and run. When you stop focusing on, oh, this person said no, I don't even know how many no's I get in a day, because I'm not looking at that. My newbies are taking off so fast. My text messages are blowing up every single day, faster than I can even respond, with people that are new and enrolling customers. They've got questions, and then potentials that are ready to start the business and wanting me to get them in. And I'm telling you guys, like, my phone blows up crazy when I'm messaging. And if I'm going to actually show you this really quick, because I think this is important for everybody on here to see. So listen, so here's my messages right now. Okay. These are people that I messaged for my application earlier tonight. And a lot of these people have not messaged me back. Okay. I don't even know, you see this? I don't even know who these people are or why they haven't responded, and I don't care, but I have blue dots in there, and those are the people that are going to enroll with me. As soon as I message them back when I get off the Zoom, they're going to sign up. And I don't know how many I message. Honestly, I don't, because I don't look at that. I look at my results. So focus on results. Be results oriented, and not, well, the KPI says 25 messages. I don't believe in 25 messages. I believe in until I sign enough distributors that satisfies my soul for the day. So start going after your work like that, and your business is just going to change. Don't believe in slow season. It's false.
Yeah. I always tell people that if you know how many no's you got today, you didn't talk to enough people. Because if you're like, oh, well, 6 people said no. And I'm like, you know how many people said no to you? You are not talking to enough people if you can count on your hands how many people said no to you. I never know how many people say no, because I don't care. That doesn't affect me. So, okay. How are you instilling belief in leaders and help them to see in themselves what you already see in them?
So I like to call them out on that and tell them like what I see in them. And I also like to, I like to believe in them and tell them the littlest thing. So if a newbie comes to me and says, I've got 5 potential customers, right? That's really, for like a big leader, it's like, okay, that's normal every day. But I want to praise that behavior and say, that's so amazing. I'm so proud of you. You need to, make sure you write them down. That's so awesome. You don't want to forget about them. So I'm instilling this belief. I'm rewarding the right behavior. Great job getting 5 potential customers. Let's go get some more. Make sure you write those people down. And then also when they do something right, I'm shouting them out and praising for that too, because I want them to know signing an LC a day is amazing. Congratulations. And if they're enrolling lots of customers, guess what? You're going to be featured on my Zoom. So you need to not just, I don't want them to just hear me say, oh my gosh, that's great for the customers. I always do tell them it's great, but let's get some more. So potential equal, we need more, because we know the process of that being some will sign up today, some will sign up next week, some next year. I'm going to need business today, just as I'm going to need it in a year. So write them down. But I also will tell them too, if somebody comes to me and let's just say they're in a bad mood, or they're like, everybody's telling me no, or whatever. I'm like, dude, listen, why are you focusing on those no's? Why? Because you're sitting here telling me, and you're wasting so much time messaging me and saying, Katie, 10 people told me no, and I just feel like nobody's going to buy right now, and I'm so stressed out. Why is nobody buying from me? I say, listen, let's go out there. Let's ask 15 people to host a post right now. Let's just do it. Changing your emotion change. It'll change with your action. So you're not always going to feel like it. You're not always going to have the best results, but what you need to do is change it with action. So we're going to go ahead and message 15 people. And then when we message these 15 people, then we're going to get more people say, yes, I'll host a post for you, which means we're going to get more potentials, and we're going to talk to more people. And this time I want you to send me screenshots of what these people are saying. So I'm reassuring them what they're doing is correct. Maybe you just got a bad couple batches of host a post. Maybe you just ran into somebody that has a bad day. but what we're going to do is we're going to fix that. And so I reinstill those things by rewarding the right behavior, but I will also, you know, say what's holding you back. It depends on the situation, but the next, like the only other scenario I can think of is if they repeatedly come to me with something that's like, I don't understand, I'm just still not getting the people, I will ask them, how many messages are you sending out a day? What do you feel is holding you back? What are you afraid of? Because a lot of times it's not so much like they might do a couple messages here and there, but they're afraid to send more because they're afraid of judgment, or they're afraid they're not going to do well anyway. So why would I even try? And sometimes you just got to dig a little deeper to address that inner fear and then call it out. Do not be afraid to dive deep into somebody's emotions and ask them what is wrong, because they're going to try to hide it and cover it up, because sometimes people are just embarrassed or they don't want to share, you know, like, oh, well, I'm afraid to tell her, like, I'm not really working because, you know, I've had a bad day with my kids, or me and my husband are going through it. I want to be their friend. So tell me what's going on. And obviously you don't push and like make somebody tell you something super private, but you want to encourage them to open up to you so you can be a listening ear, because sometimes that's what somebody needs first before they can fix their business. And sometimes they just need to say it. Like they just need to say and vent it out and then be like, you know, thank you so much for listening. Like, I feel like I'm ready to go. But you've got to just talk to them. I feel like, especially in today's world, we don't talk enough. So talk. If you need to do a phone call, do a phone call. If you need to do a Zoom call, let them cry it out. Be their friend, believe in them, and tell them that, you know, I'm like the queen of throwing Bible verses up at you and letting you know that God's got you. You're going to get through this. And, you know, you were made for more. You would not come this far to only come this far if you were not meant to be here. So I always just reinstall that and basically just hype them up.
Yeah, so good. So good. Okay, so I know you were stuck at triple for a year and a half. I've been at double for 2 years, and there are a bunch of people on my team and on sidelines who are like, I just feel stuck where I am. I feel like no matter how hard I push, no matter how much momentum I get, I can't break that barrier, whether it's going ruby or going diamond or whatever it is. What would you say to those people? What are your tips for that?
Okay, so when I got stuck at triple diamond, okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, I was a triple diamond for a year and a half, and I'm a red leader, and I was angry. I was so angry because I don't like to sit and I don't like to be stagnant, and I do not like to be looked at as like somebody who's just mediocre. And I felt mediocre, and I started getting angry at my team because why are they not moving? Why are they not enrolling? Like, I can enroll people. Why can't you enroll people? I was pregnant with my second baby, and I was like, I'm going to go pres before this baby's born. Well, I didn't. And then honestly, you guys, I am one of those people who goes ham and like, I don't set a goal and don't hit it. That was the first time I ever set a goal and did not hit it. And I was pissed. And so basically I had my second daughter. I went through extreme postpartum issues, postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression. I've never experienced anxiety or depression before I had my second kid. And it was the worst thing I've ever had because nobody could tell me what was wrong with me. So I was like, now looking back, obviously we figured it out and I knew that was what I was going through, but I went to so many doctors, spent thousands of dollars, and nobody could tell me why I was having panic attacks, but nobody knew they were panic attacks. I was just getting tested for a million different things, but I was having 8 to 10 panic attacks a day. So if you've ever had one of those, imagine having 8 to 10 a day. And so I didn't hit my promotion. I had my second baby. I was adjusting to being a mom of 2, and I was having all this crap going on with my health, and I couldn't figure it out. And so I made the decision. I had my daughter on July 3rd. I made the decision on July 15th, going through all of these things, that I was no longer going to settle for anything. I'm a fighter. And I proved that to myself when I first started this business. I didn't just let myself settle at double. I was like, I'm going to keep going, even though I started for $300 a month. And I decided I was going to go. So I started journaling and I started talking to God way more than I ever have. And I was like, you know what? Like, I know that he broke me down in those moments so that I would stop being go, stop not listening to him, and stop, like, I just strayed away. Like, he brought me to here, and then I was just chilling and I wasn't doing the things I should have been doing. And so he brought me back to my knees and was like, you need to listen to me. And so I started listening. I started praying. I started journaling about it. And what do you know? My business started flipping around. All the people that weren't working, they fell away, which is such a blessing. And new people came in and they started taking off. My team was a struggling triple diamond team. Like, I was maintaining triple, but we were so struggling, like hanging on by a little piece of floss. Okay. And then I started journaling and praying as if things were already happening and thanking God for every single thing that he was doing for me. And you guys, I'm going to share this with you because I think this is one of the most, I still have this. I think this one. I have 2 of the same books. Hold on. So no, it's not this one. Is it this one? That's weird. Hold on. So here it is. Okay. So my first ever journal entry, we're going to read this together because this is what changed my business. I said, thank you, God. Oh, sorry, it's July 18th, 2018. I said, thank you, God, for making us a top 50 presidential team. It felt so incredible hearing my name announced on the stage as a presidential diamond. I am overwhelmed with joy, excitement, and gratitude over this promotion. So many people on my team are now making thousands of dollars each month and are able to live freely. I am so in love with this business and building up my team with strong leaders. God, thank you for leading us to this position. Our team is enrolling so many team members and they are so excited. I love watching them learn to dream. We are growing faster than ever with the most passion for this business. And I said, XOXO, a presidential diamond, Katie Bevington. Every single day, I journal this stuff out. I could not be more grateful for my leaders. I have the strongest, most passionate leaders out there, and I can't wait to take them to the top with me. I was journaling everything about my team. And you want to know the craziest thing, okay? What happened was, like I said, I was struggling. I was like, I have the worst mom brain ever, and I probably should write this stuff down, but I was like, number one, I was 147, and then I went to like 69 or something, right? And then I was in the top 50 the next time they were announced. So I was triple diamond in July. Then they announced the numbers usually around like October-ish. Then I went to in the 60s. And then I was in the next conference, I was 31. And then the next time they announced, I went to Costa Rica as top 20. But the biggest thing here, so July I was triple diamond. I went presidential diamond at the end of August. I went from like 55,000 GV to over 150,000 GV as a presidential diamond in a month and a half. And what happened was I stopped blaming my team. That was the number one thing. You got to stop blaming your people. If they aren't taking off, that's just because you aren't enrolling enough, period. Because some people will take off and some people won't. So if you're enrolling 1 distributor a month, 2 distributors, 3 distributors a month, that unfortunately just isn't going to work. And I want to relate this back to those of you guys who will say, well, I don't understand why these people aren't working. How many of you guys worked in a restaurant? Put a 1 in the chat. Or restaurant, fast food, grocery store, any like lower end job. How many of you guys worked in one of those, right? And how many times did you come in for a shift and you had a random coworker just show up and you're like, oh, you're hired now? Like all the time, right? It's just like randoms would pop up. And then 2 weeks later, they're gone. And you're like, well, where did Sarah go? And they're like, oh, she quit. Okay, so that is exactly like this. Some people are gonna come in and kick ass and they're gonna promote, right? And some people are gonna go get hired on at Target and they're gonna stay a cashier for God knows how long. If somebody goes into Target and then they work their butt off, they're gonna go to shift lead, then they're gonna go to assistant manager, then they'll go to manager, and you know what I'm saying? You get the point? Here, it's the exact same thing. Very small amount of people have ambition to go up and climb the ranks. What it takes to move out of your stuck position is for you to know, one, you need to understand that you even recognizing that you are stuck is good, because this shows that you aren't the normal person. A normal person would be fine being broke. They're comfortable. It's no big deal. I can stay broke forever. Noticing that you're stuck, noticing that you are broke and you don't want to be broke anymore means that you have a drive for more. You just have to make the decision that you're tired of it and you're not going to sit there anymore. So don't blame your team. Don't blame anyone. It's not your upline's fault. It's not your team's fault. It's you. So you decide, okay, how can I change this? Start enrolling more people. Stop building people that are not working. If they aren't showing up, and even, I don't even care, my team knows this, tried and true. If you tell me you're going to go Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, whatever, and it's been 6 months and you have not done that, I'm not putting you on my chart. I'm not going to keep working. I'm not going to keep building somebody who's not showing me that they're putting in an effort. A Ruby leader, it's 3 legs, 2,000 volume. You can enroll 3 legs and 2,000 volume in 1 month. That's something that you just have to stop putting that limiting belief on yourself. And sometimes no matter how much I pour into them and love my team, they don't take that limit off their own head. They don't take the helmet off. They keep it on nice and tight. So I can't take it off for them. They've got to learn to take it off, sit it down, and go. And then I'm like, okay, let's do this. So if you've got somebody you've been holding on to for dear life because you love them as a friend, I love everybody on my team as a friend. I told you guys I pour into them so much. I love them so much like they're my family. But sometimes what happens if you try to tell your family member to quit smoking? Do they do it? No. What happens if you tell your family member to stop eating so much unhealthy food because you know it's deteriorating their health? Do they do it? No. They have to make the decision to take the helmet off and do it themselves. And so you start building and showing your team that you are a big freaking rock star. When you show them, hey, I'm not afraid to enroll new. I'm not afraid to build a team. I'm not afraid to do the work. And when you start showing up so excited for your business, so passionate, so on fire that you can barely sleep because that why that you started this business for is just driving you, then you're going to enroll more people. And then those people are going to see that you're enrolling more people and they're going to get inspired. Then they're going to enroll more people. And next thing you know, in a month and a half, you've got your dream team running with you and you're going diamond because you made the decision to take that helmet off and stop letting that glass ceiling hold you down and you broke through it. And you're showing everybody what's possible. But I'm not going to stop preaching this before I tell you guys, this is the verse that stuck out to me the day I made the decision. Here's the thing. God says, I tell you that you can pray for anything. And if you believe that you've received it, it should be yours. That's Mark 11:24, straight from scripture. So if you're not asking for your gifts, and if you're not asking for people to come into your business that want this, that are on fire, that are passionate, then you're missing out because that God is waiting for you to talk to him. And I want you guys to think of it this way too. I like to do like little analogies because it helps me understand everything. If you were going to go, like, let's just say you're having a family reunion, right? And you never talk to your like great Aunt Lucy. Nobody talks to Aunt Lucy, right? But you get there and Aunt Lucy's like, so where's my gift? You're like, what? A gift? Like, why would I get you? Like, we don't even talk. Why would I give? God says, you want a blessing from me, but you never speak to me. Why would I be giving you a blessing? You think I'm just going to come give you a gift and you never talk to me? And so if he says, ask, pray, believe, you ask for what you want, pray for it, and believe it. And today in my devotional, I was talking about how we should be so persistent in asking. And there's a part in the Bible where these two blind men followed Jesus everywhere and literally were so persistent that he healed them. And then he's like healed them and restored their sight. And he said, you know, your persistence paid off. And at the bottom of this, it says, this is so monumental. It says, leaders aren't smarter, cuter, or better. They just outlast the crowd. So you have to outlast the crowd. You've got to show up. You've got to be passionate. And you've got to say, all right, I'm going to the next level. Stop settling for where you're at. Stop believing that where you're at is the highest you're going to get. Stop believing you'll never, ever get to those high levels because whether you do or you don't is completely up to you. Stop slacking.
Oh my gosh. So good. So good. Okay. So I know every leader has dealt with this when we're working on promotions and you kind of touched on it, but you have these people on your team that are like, all right, we're going to go Ruby or we're going to go Emerald or we're going to go Diamond. And then enrollments aren't coming in and you know they're not doing their list or they're missing something. How do you work with that? Because I know there's a ton of people on my team that are like, they just want to shake their team and they're like, all right, either do it or not, but they don't know how to navigate that road of, okay, here are your goals, but you're not working for it. What do you do in that situation?
So when somebody tells me they want to promote, I always support it because I truly believe that when people decide that they're ready, they're going to be ready. But when it comes to my promotion, my bills don't wait. So I'm going to go ahead and take charge of my promotion and do what's best for my chart and support you along the way. So if somebody says, Katie, I'm going Ruby, and let's just say it's their 6th month that they're telling me they're going to go Ruby. I say, okay, what do you need to go Ruby? I want to see a chart and I want to see the people on it. If none of those people work, I want to say, no. We're going to redo this chart because nobody on your chart is working. Let's redo this. Because even if you were to build, which obviously we know we can build a Ruby quick. Like it's not a hard task to build Ruby. You just do more host posts, right? We can fill that volume. But does that breed excitement? And eventually I know my Ruby leader that promotes to Ruby that did it herself is going to be upset, tired, worn down because she's having to enroll all of those customers to maintain her rank. So enrolling new distributors is essential because I want her not to go Ruby, just Ruby, but the next month you should go Emerald and then Diamond and beyond. And so you're going to need working people for that. So I always say, clear your chart, get it ready. And then I say, okay, what has held you back these past 6 months? Why are you not Ruby already? They're going to tell me that they've been lazy. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, what's holding you back from doing your business and being organized and working your butt off and going Ruby? And so then most of the time it's lack of time management and just not like just being lazy and putting other things first because they don't feel like they can do it. Like it's a fear thing. And so I say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do the KPI every single day. And I want you to turn it into me. I want you to send it to me every night. We're going to hold each other accountable and I want to see it. And so that way, when they start doing it, if they're not going to 6 months girl that's trying to go Ruby is not on my chart, but this is just me being her leader. Then at that point, the 6 month girl, then she stops sending it to me, I'm not chasing. I'm not going to keep asking, hey, where's your chart? Hey, did you do it today? No, they should start doing that. People that go on your chart that are ready, you go find people that are ready to run. It is way faster. And I'm going to tell you guys a good example of this. When I let some of the dead weight go on my chart last month, I had a newbie come in and she in 2.5 weeks was 300 short of Ruby on the last day of the month last month. If you had somebody come in and was 300 volume short in 2.5 weeks, why are you holding on to somebody who told you they're going to go Ruby for 6 months in a row? Sister over here that wants to go Ruby for 6 months in a row, she's going to go Ruby on her own time. But I have somebody over here that really wants to go Ruby and deserves my attention and my undivided attention because she's slaying it. She's got goals and she wants to pay for Christmas in cash for her family. I'm invested there. Somebody who has a goal and is so driven that they're willing to do anything. If you're showing up on my Zooms, if you're showing up and you're messaging me all the time and you want my help, I am there for you. And your team is going to grow faster. Don't focus on who's not. Same thing with like messaging people in the nose. Don't focus on that. Focus on who's ready to go, lock arms, and you will go faster, stronger, and better with those people. Even if it takes an extra month, who cares? It's sustainable. It's a long-term. It's coming up with a culture of family and building those lasting friendships that are going to keep your team going rather than let me just get this and stay at a rank for 1 month and lose it the next.
Yeah, so good. Put a 2 in the chat. I think that's what number I'm. Put a 2 in the chat if you have forced a promotion because you didn't want to clear your chart. That you like just did the entire chart by yourself and then it just died because you were like, well, I can do it because you can. If you don't know, you can fill an entire diamond chart by yourself if you really want to, but it's not going to last. So you said that you already enrolled 6 distributors this month. Let's touch on that. How are you enrolling so many distributors? What are you doing?
TikTok and Reels, 100%. I always do attraction market. Well, okay, I say I always do. I started doing attraction marketing when I was stuck at triple and had to do something else to go presidential. And so I do a lot of attraction marketing, which you guys are more than welcome to check out my Instagram. That's what I do. And then I do TikTok and Reels now because it just is bomb and it gets me more distributors faster. And so basically you should be doing TikTok and Reels is what I'm saying. And you should also be sharing your story on your Instagram every single day, talking about the business, talking about what it allows you to do. And also messaging, okay? Messaging when you are new and when you are not yet pro at attraction marketing, because newsflash, I was not a pro. I had to learn how to do it. I had to build it up. And now it's to the point where my inbox is in, like when I post that I'm opening up positions on my team, they're filled in literally an hour. And it's so fast because I've built that up. But what you have to do is start being so consistent about your Instagram stories, posting on your Instagram every day and posting TikToks and Reels in the mix of it, because TikToks and Reels, what you do is you make the video, right? It posts, it's going to circulate by itself while you're also messaging, while you're also posting on your Instagram stories, while you're doing host to post for distributors. All of those things are happening while your Reel and TikToks populate. And as they populate, you're still doing this stuff. You're still getting leads, like generating on their own while you're generating them manually. Then when you guys are doing that, make sure that every time you sign a distributor, talk about it on your Instagram story, talk about your success, talk about your goals on everything that you have, all of your platforms. Those are so important because people do not want to hang out or sign up with people that don't have goals. I had a girl sign up with me yesterday who told me, she was like, I talked to somebody else about this, but she seems like she kind of does this like on the side, like more like part-timey, and I'm trying to like make it big with this. And I don't really feel comfortable with somebody who's kind of like in and out. Do you want to be an in and out distributor so that they go find somebody who does this and goes hard for their goals? And I mean, honestly, so I don't know, a potential that comes to me and says, I was talking to somebody else, but she's kind of in and out and wishy-washy, and you're so consistent and you're always talking about your next goal and you're ambitious. What distributor are you going to be? Are you going to attract those ones that are on fire and ready to go? You guys hear about the people who come in and kill it. I want to sign those people. So I show up on my Instagram and my Facebook every day, like I'm going to sign the next rock star that day. And then sometimes I do because I'm so consistent. So be consistent, share your story every single day. You should have a minimum of 15 Instagram. If you're going to work Instagram. It can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's all in. About 10 to 15 slides a day, post daily on your Instagram, do a Reel and a TikTok until they take off. Mine didn't take off in the beginning, and I'm somebody who does like instant results. I want you guys, if you like instant results, put a 3 in the chat. If you're like an immediate gratification, like 99% of the world, you need to understand TikTok and Reels. These take time. Not every TikTok and Reel is going to take off. Okay. Mine don't always take off either. Sometimes I've gotten as many as 5,000 applications off of one video, and then I've gotten 0 off of videos. Okay. So you have to understand it takes time and effort, but I would rather put my effort there to know that like when one does take off, I'm going to get a bunch of applications. And then also knowing I'm still putting in the work behind the scenes, do all the things. Remember, results driven, not number driven. So when I'm over here thinking like, okay, I sent out 25 messages. If I don't get hits, 25 more going right out. My promotion means so much to me. Making this money for my family, making my dreams a reality, and helping other people make their dreams a reality is my absolute passion. If you're not willing to lose sleep over what your goal is, you don't want it bad enough. Distributors are so easy. I think distributors are easier than customers. And that's simply because it's my favorite thing to do. I love TikTok and Instagram, and I love that I can talk to people and help them reach their goals, like financially, also with the products that I am a health nut, but really it's just as simple as host to post. You just have to be consistent with it. It takes more consistency. Host to post is easy. It's copy paste. You just sign people, right? Distributors, it actually takes like work behind the scenes and being consistent, and you'll sign them.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So I want you to touch a little bit on attraction marketing, because I feel like it's something that we all hear, but like, what would you say to someone who's like, okay, I want to try to start doing attraction marketing? What are some tips for getting into that?
So when I started attraction marketing, this is what it looks like for me. You have to have like kind of like a theme. So you need to start thinking of, what do you love? Like absolutely love, like your hobbies, things you're interested in. And just to give you guys some ideas, some things that I absolutely love. I love Disney World, Disney, all things Disney. I have 2 girls. We're obsessed with Disney. We go a lot. Okay. It's my favorite thing. Disney, health, being healthy, working out, exercising, healthy foods, organic lifestyle, toxin-free, all those things. I talk about that all the time. Extremely passionate about that. I also love to travel. When non-COVID times, we travel a lot. We're a homeschool family. We all work, we don't have any other like jobs or anything. So we're free to go do whatever we want. I travel. And then I also just like to, I like to relax. I live by the beach, and now I have an awesome pool in my backyard. So I also just love to share like all outdoorsy things as well. And obviously fashion is another one of my things. So these are the main 5 things I talk about on my Instagram at all times. It's very important to me, big to me, and I build my following based on that. So I'm talking about these 5 things. These are called pillars. And so you should pick about 3 to 5 things that you really love that you can talk about all the time. And when people the easiest way to kind of think of this is when somebody thinks of your name, what do they think of? Like if your family were to say like, oh my gosh, like if they're shopping, oh, she would love this. What is it that they like you would love? Makeup, fashion, hair, traveling, food, whatever it is. It can be anything, but that's what you're going to base your following on. So this gives you stuff to post about, because the last thing you want to be doing is like, well, what should I post? Well, if you love fashion, why don't you look for clothes online and talk about, oh my gosh, this outfit's so cute. Like, I love this. Do you prefer this or that? Or whenever you're shopping and you do clothing hauls, talk about that. Makeup, how do you do a makeup look? You know, you got new lashes, whatever. You can talk about so many things in each subject and give you things to talk about all the time. But I pretty much vlog my lifestyle every single day, morning to night. I talk about whatever I'm doing, what's going on in my day. And I throw like little subliminal things about my life that the business does for me. Like I love that in the morning, this morning I talked about, I love that in the morning, my daughter always wants to snuggle, and I take a picture of us snuggling in the morning, and I'm thankful that this business allows me to be home with my daughter. Or it could be something as simple as, you know, me making my celery juice in the morning, or me making my shake. I'm talking about my shake. I'm talking about where I have the freedom to go out and do whatever. I'm working out. Everything I'm doing is documented on my stories. People, do you guys all watch YouTube here? Anybody follow somebody on YouTube? You probably do, right? You like watch some YouTube channel on something and you're like watching, you're obsessed with them, like the Ace family, or like, I don't know. I don't watch YouTube, but like if I did, I know people watch these types of people. They literally do nothing and you watch them. Okay. They're living their life and they're recording it, and everyone's watching. And so it's pretty much the same thing. I'm documenting my lifestyle. And then it also looks like me sharing what I'm doing in my house and sharing with people, hey, this is what working from home looks like. Hey, I love that this business allows me to be a stay-at-home mom. I love that this business allows me to afford my groceries, afford my gas. I'm bringing people in without saying, join my team, it's $39. Join my team, we can make money together. Influencers wanted, let's make money. None of that. This is what this business has done for me. This is who I am. This is my story. I talk about being a teen mom. I talk about the struggles. I let people in. I'm vulnerable, and I'm posting good quality content. It's not just something that's just like, boom, throw it up. It's something that has a purpose behind it, because when you see my page, you're going to see I'm a health nut, and I always talk about health stuff. And then when you're also going to check my page out, you're going to see that I love being a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool. You're going to see hacks for homeschooling, hacks for eating healthy, how to get your kids to eat healthy, a whole world of things. And then they will continue to follow your journey. And when you talk about this business that changes your life all the time, and then you say, I have positions open, people are going to hop on that so fast because they didn't even know it was possible to do what you do until you open those positions. I started doing that really when I was stuck between triple and getting to presidential, and people like at first my positions would not fill, but then they started to fill so quick. And I would always talk about it even when they didn't fill at first. I would say, oh, 2 positions gone, 1 position gone, oh, they're filled. And then people were like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? And then next time I open them, they're getting in on them. And then I start sharing the notifications. And the next thing you know, they're literally signing up so fast because they know my spots are about to be gone. So you have to be really consistent with it. And it honestly isn't hard. It's something that I've perfected. And I'm like, oh, I'm good at this, but watch YouTube videos on attraction marketing. If you need content ideas, type in Pinterest, content calendar, do some research on this. Like it's so simple and not like extensive. If you're agreeing on here, please don't spend like 7 hours doing this. Just a quick little search, look at an idea and take it and make it your own. You can always look at my Instagram. I always have stuff like on, I'm very consistent on there. But pretty much just be consistent. When you're new, Emily, this is what I say. When you're new, you just start posting more because if your account wasn't really active before you started this, meaning you barely ever posted like I did, you're not going to have a lot of followers probably, and people are never going to see your stuff because of the Instagram algorithm. So what you need to do is post every day consistently, once a day on your feed, and try to get up, as many slides as you can. Being new, I know it's a little bit more intimidating. So try to do 5 to 10 and work your way up to 10 to 15. And this can also, guys, don't forget, like a inspirational quote, 1, do not put 10 on your slides. Okay. Like 1, maybe 2 up on your slides a day counts. Using a product counts, but get those up and start engaging on other people's profiles on Instagram, liking and commenting. Because if let's just say, for example, if me and Courtney, if I go follow Courtney, like look at her Instagram story, Instagram's like, oh my gosh, Katie and Courtney are friends. Now Courtney's at the beginning of my Instagram stories every single day because they see me and Courtney are messaging. I see her story every day, whatever. So that it recognizes that. So start building that up and commenting on people's photos on Instagram. They're going to go back to your profile and see it. And the next thing you know, oh, Emily, you're in the front of everybody else's feed. So sharing your story as a newbie is easy as this. Why did you start this business? You needed more money. For me, for my story, when I found this business, I was a broke, struggling teen mom. I needed to be able to afford bills. We only had $23 left over after bills that was supposed to pay for food, groceries, or like, I guess it's the same thing, groceries, gas, or whatever else my baby needed. Obviously that's not going to work. And so I was looking for other ways and I found this. So if I was new, I was like, I found this. And this is something where I'm able to start working from home, bringing in extra income around, if you're working, school, whatever. I'm able to bring in extra money around all these things. And this is going to help me to, what is your goal? This is going to help me be able to pay cash for Christmas. And I'm so excited about it. Then people are like, wait a minute, you're making money from home and you're going to be able to pay cash for Christmas? Cool. Now they're going to want to get in on the tea and they're going to ask you about it.
Oh my gosh. So good. So good. Okay. So I have one more question about attraction marketing, because I know this is what some people on the Zoom are thinking. Is they're like, okay, cool, attraction marketing sounds awesome, but I don't look picture perfect every day, because so many times when we're on Instagram, we see this highlight reel where everyone has their hair and makeup done 24/7 and they just wake up looking perfect. What are you going to say to that?
So here's the thing. I do both. On my Instagram stories, you're going to get the realest of the real with me, because honestly, you guys, I do my makeup 3 times a week, sometimes 4. But I do my makeup because I feel like the best version of myself. Like, I feel like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard Pam talk about like your like alter ego, right? And so like, I feel like my alter ego, like my highest level self is like Athena. So like, if I'm showing up as my highest level self, I don't feel like a boss when I'm in like lazy clothes. I don't. I feel like a lazy bum in my lazy clothes. And I don't get as much done in my lazy clothes because I'm, well, lazy. So I do get dressed up, I would say 3 to 4 times a week for real. And I make myself go do something. And if you struggle with any sort of like feeling down on yourself, depression, anxiety, get yourself ready so you feel really good about yourself. Like however you feel the most beautiful, do it 3 to 4 times a week, and even every day if you want to. But I do that because it makes me feel better and I perform better in that state. So anyways, but I'm not perfect. And I will show myself on my stories with no makeup, in my pajamas, hair like crazy, just woke up, because I want people to see I can do this, but I also am mostly like this. So that's my tip number 1. Tip number 2 is don't feel like you have to look like somebody to be successful. And that's why I love Jade the most in the beginning, because Jade is not picture perfect 24/7. And she's just so real and like shares the behind the scenes. She shares when she's got a zit on her face. She shares when she's got kids in the background. And so I like to share that aspect of me. And then I also share the part of me that is like, I do put my makeup on, I put earrings in because I feel good. So do not get to the point where you're like, oh, well, I'm not as pretty or I'm not as skinny. And I'll also tell you guys this, it's a little bit of a off the thing, little plug here. When you make more money, you're prettier, okay? Because you can afford more things. So like I couldn't afford to get my hair done. I couldn't afford good makeup. I couldn't afford to go buy lashes. I couldn't afford anything that I have now. So those things all enhance our beauty, right? And so when you can buy more of those things, you can buy the cute outfits because you have more money, but you don't need that to be successful. It's just something fun that you get to do when you do have more money. If I can make it to ambassador, remember, I started at ground zero. I wore the same stuff every day because I couldn't afford anything. I had jeans with like holes, and I had my belt loops falling off. But honestly, I shared that stuff. I shared me growing through that, and people watch the journey. Some people have literally watched me from my day one to now. And they're like, dude, you're a totally like different person in a good way. Like you've grown so much. And so don't ever feel like you have to have the house, the cars, retire your husband, have all these fancy things. What you need to have is consistent work ethic and goals. Because people, if you say I'm going to make, well, you can't say $300 anymore, but you could say I'm going to pay for Christmas in cash. And then you do that. Then people were like, okay, she did that. I'm going to pay off my car. And then you do that. Then you do that. I'm gonna pay off this credit card. I'm gonna pay for groceries. I'm paying for gas. That's what people relate to. They're not gonna relate to $30,000 a month. And that's why you don't see me on my Instagram saying I make $30,000 a month as an ambassador diamond. I say, hey, I just paid for gas in cash. Hey, I just paid for my daughter's her winter clothes in cash. Because that's what people relate to. So don't be picture perfect. Don't compare yourself to anybody else besides your own self, and show people you can do both. You can be a glam queen, and you can be a regular queen without being all glam. You could be anyway, but really like the vulnerable, authentic posts are what's gonna draw people to you, not looking like a Barbie doll and acting like you have all your shit together, because nobody does, okay?
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
It's so true. And you guys, let me tell you this, because when I figured this out, it was the best thing ever. A good picture does not mean you have your hair and makeup done. You can look like a hot mess with your hair on the side of your head with no makeup on, but if you take it in good lighting and put a Lightroom filter on it, it's automatically a good picture on Instagram. So don't feel like your pictures have to be perfect with your hair and makeup done. Just take a good quality, crisp, bright picture, and that's what's going to work on Instagram. So I want to ask you one last thing. Is there anything that you feel like is on your heart that if you could share with us, what is one thing you would say?
My one thing that I would say to you guys is, because I know we all go through this, is taking the step and realizing that your situation, there's always somebody out there. And this makes me feel better on the days that I've gone through all the ups and downs. I'm like, oh my gosh, has anybody ever went through where you feel like your business is just not going anywhere? Like everybody's already signed up as a customer. Everybody's already a distributor. Your life is over. Your business is over. Like, it's so hard. And I want you guys to know that is a freaking lie. I look at every other leader and I don't compare myself. I look at other people and I'm like, they enrolled, like a girl on my team, 70 customers in a month, right? And I'm like, what the flip? Like, that's 70 customers. If she can do it, I can do it. People are literally begging to join, especially right now. I had somebody cry to me 2 days ago, literally sent me a voice message crying and said, thank you so much. And thank you for believing in me and showing this to me, because this is changing my entire life. I'm finally able to afford diapers for my kid. Crying. And I'm like, if I wouldn't have done that TikTok, I wouldn't have messaged her. I wouldn't have been here. And so I'm like, these are the things that people are out there wanting this business. And sometimes we hold our own selves back because we're afraid. What if somebody says no? What if somebody gets offended? What if? The what ifs cannot exist when your why is so strong. So I encourage you tonight, why are you doing this? Put in the chat. Why are you here? Why are you on this Zoom? What are you going for? Why are you here? Why are you listening to me talk? There has to be a reason why you're here right now. Your daughter. Freedom. You want to make more money. What is this money going to do for you? It's going to change your life, right? Well, why are you here? Why are these things right here? Why are you not going all in for these things? Does that not matter enough for you? Think about it. Every time you think I'm going to go watch Netflix. I'm stressed. I've got kids. I'm stressed. Oh, my husband, this. Oh, work is hard. Guys, life is always going to be throwing you curveballs. Life is always going to be chaotic. It's never going to be a day where you're going to wake up and you're like, wow, the sun is shining, the grass is green, it's warm outside, the kids are acting like angels, and my work schedule is beautiful. It's chaos. And I would be lying if I told you my days are always great. I have them under control for the most part now, but there's things that happen every day that I'm just like, what the French shows. So what you need to do is look at these things right here. When you wake up in the morning and your alarm goes off and you're like, oh gosh, I'm so tired. Like, I don't know if I should get up. If you're not waking up before your kids, if you're a mom, wake up before your kids. Get your self-development in for you. Do your KPI every day. And when that alarm goes off and you're like, I'm tired, just be like, you know what? Paying off debt and being stress-free doesn't matter to me. Being able to buy my daughter those Christmas gifts that she wants doesn't matter to me. Being able to be stress-free, have a better relationship with my husband and stop arguing all the time over finances, it doesn't matter. If we stay married or we get a divorce, it doesn't matter. If finances ruin our relationship, it doesn't matter. You're not going to say that because it does matter to you. So why are you being lazy and letting that ruin everything that you love so much? You can change that. You don't have to answer to anyone. You don't have to live with those labels attached to you, and you do not have to stay broke. It is a freaking choice. And so if you have a situation where you're like, I'm stuck, I'm not that great at signing distributors. So why are you not on YouTube searching how to sign distributors? Why are you not looking up videos? Why are you not in your team page searching for videos that Courtney's made? Why are you not searching for the answers? Instead, you're waiting for somebody to hand it to you. Listen, I didn't have an upline and it sucked because I'm like, you know what? I wish so badly I had somebody that would come to me and be like, all right, Katie, here's how you sign distributors, but I had to find it. But I believe that's why I'm such a strong and like distributor and, and leader as well, because I know how to find the answers. If I'm confused, I find it because I knew that when I started this business and I couldn't afford to give my daughter a Christmas and I was looking at credit cards so that I could go into debt to be able to afford Christmas to hopefully pay it off with my tax return wasn't what I was trying to do for the rest of my life because, babies are cheap. They're cheap compared to kids. And so I knew if I thought diapers were bad, just wait until they get into sports and they need more clothes. And I swear every time I turn around, my daughter needs a new pair of shoes or jeans. And by the way, you guys, Old Navy jeans for kids are now $35. And so your kid needs 4 or 5 pairs of jeans. Well, damn, that's a lot of money. And they grow out of them so fast. Sometimes she needs 5 pairs in the beginning and 5 pairs at the end. And so what am I going to do? Just not have the money to pay for it? I'm just going to go into debt? No, I made the decision that no matter what I was going to have to go through, no matter if I lost sleep because I was a full-time nursing student and working as a CNA, I did not have any time, but I figured out how to get the time to work my business so I could live my life without stress. So I didn't have to tell my daughter no, because on her first birthday, when I couldn't afford a birthday cake and I couldn't afford a party, and when I went to Publix and found out for the first time that freaking cakes are like $25 or $30 for a cake, and I couldn't afford that. That was the last time I could never afford $30. I have to look at my daughters every morning and I'm like, thank God mom did what she did because I would be missing all of this with you. I would not be able to do anything we do together because of this business. If I wouldn't have gave it my all, I would be missing this. Stop missing time with your family. Stop stressing out over money when you know you have the power to change that right now. It doesn't matter what size you are, what you look like, where you come from, who you're made of. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you showing up and putting in the work consistently? The difference between a top leader and you is that they are consistent every single day and they don't give up. When something gets rough, they find a solution. They don't wait on a solution. They find the solution. You find it and then you just do it more and more. Your life will change when you realize it's all about your patterns and what you're doing every single day. If you're doing bad habits every day, meaning you hit the snooze button, you let Netflix take over, you're like, oh, I'm tired, I'll just watch Netflix and grab some wine. No. KPI is the Bible of your business. Do it every day before anything else. My KPI, you guys, is done by 11 a.m. every single day. The rest of my day, I send out more messages as I go, but I'm a mom. I homeschool. I'm busy. I lead a massive team. So I have to be organized with my time. So I have good family life, good business life, and good personal life with a good relationship with my husband. Be organized. Create the patterns that you want to see. If you don't understand something, YouTube it. Pinterest it. There's something so special and so good about when you search it yourself, you're actually going to remember it versus somebody just being like, oh, how much is through my FedEx? I could tell you $39 45 times, but you're not going to remember that until you go look at it, like look it up, and it'll just stick with you for some reason. It helped me so much in the beginning to know I was in control of my success. I wish somebody would have just told me, like, yo, Katie, like, you're going to make it to the top of this company when I first started, because I had so many doubts. When I first enrolled, I literally told my enroller, I'm never going to enroll a distributor. Like, I told her that I'm never going to enroll a distributor. And here I am this year. In April alone, I enrolled 93. So tell me what is it that holds you back? Because it's your own self. That's it. It's not your kids. It's not your husband. It's not your mom. It's not your sister. It's not anybody. It's you that holds your own self back because you're afraid that you're going to fail. But how are you going to fail? And just like you're sabotaging yourself. Every single day, you're like, I'm not going to do it. I'm afraid they say no. I'm afraid I'm going to fail. You don't even give yourself a chance. Give yourself the chance. Go for it. You guys literally have, yeah, I send you in April, right? So you guys have to understand this is the busiest time of year. And if you guys knew, I was just on a Zoom with Cami. That's why I was late to this. If you guys knew what I knew about the things and what's to come, if you guys don't take action now, you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt in the next few, I don't know, weeks, months, because good things are coming. Big things are coming that you need to be prepared for. Get the good patterns now so you can do the things later and have the more fun later. And you won't have to work the job. You won't have to have the debt. You won't have to have all that chaos and the behind the scenes that you have now if you put in the work and just say, you know what, I can sacrifice for a little bit now, or I can sacrifice a lot now to not have to sacrifice the good things later. It's important to know it doesn't come without sacrifice. But if you ask me if losing that sleep when I first started, waking up at 5 a.m. for clinical, being in school all day, being at the hospital, working, missing that time with my daughter, and then also having to come home, stay up later to work my business, to now be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, was that worth it? Yeah, it was. It really was. So that's all I got.
Oh my gosh. Boom. Like, I'm so hyped right now. And I'm like, oh my God, it's 10:15. I'm about to work for like 6 more hours. I'm not sleeping tonight. I am so pumped. So Katie, thank you so much for hanging out with us, for pouring out, for telling everything that you told, and put a 0 in the chat if you're like, I learned something. And if you don't put a 0, you're lying. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. For those that are on, I will put this up on YouTube tonight.